Yeah,
it's all
just
good.
saying, like, this is your talking stick.
Okay, here we are. Hi again, everyone. We have sorted through some technical difficulties. I don't know if we've sorted through them all, but here we are. Um, I'm Jeremy. I'm with Sweet Tea Shakespeare. Hello. To my left is Traycie Zapata, Mindarella, LJ Bowens. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, and then I'll introduce myself, and we'll talk about why we're here for the second time on a Wednesday morning in late December. Traycie, you're up.
Hello, my name is Traycie. I am Assistant Artistic Director of Sweet Tea, and I'm also a theater teacher at Southview High School.
No, I'm Minda. I'm 910 Comedy, so I do all your local comedy shows and tribute.
Haha.
That was alarming. You can also hear me on the big 95.7 WKML. I'm your midday DJ, and I am also a local mortician. I work at TCC in the mortuary science department.
What a crazy life.
That's awesome.
Like I tell you jokes and then cremate you.
No, I do the other way. That way you
Oh,
can't complain.
okay.
I'm assuming the mortuary business has been skyrocketing over the last couple of years.
Yeah, but so since I work in the science area, ours is a donor program, so we do whole body donation at FTC. We are the only funeral school in the entire state of North Carolina. So, but with COVID, as I assume that you're alluding to, we cannot actually take any donors that have passed away from COVID. So it's been a lot of me turning away families, which is always a bummer.
Sure.
And I don't know how you find out. So my name is Luan Bowles. Everybody knows me as LJ. I'm a spoken word artist, author, and by day I am the unit director of one of the branches of the Boys and Girls Club here in Cumberland County.
And back in the corner over there, you can't see her, is Christina Roscoe. She's going to pop on screen. Hi, Christine. Tell us about yourself. We'll hear you.
I'm Christine Orozco. She did just say, this one's best friend.
True.
I work with Sweet Tea every now and then. Sometimes I design lights or just help out with like any like the camera work and stuff. So I'm usually behind the scenes where I will return.
And occasionally on stage. You're coming back for January shows,
Julia.
correct?
Yeah.
That's right.
I love these lit shows.
Yes, indeed. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. And I'm Jeremy Fiebig. My day job is professor of theater at the mighty Fayetteville State University, and I'm artistic director of Sweet Tea. And we're entering we're about to celebrate our 10th anniversary, and we've got some stuff to talk about there. I want to say thank you to the Arts Council of Fayetteville, Cumberland County, and the North Carolina Arts Council. The equipment that you see here, I mean, some of it you can see down there, that thing, and there's some other stuff off screen, including a display and a video switcher and stuff. We applied for a grant from the Arts Council, a mini grant. We were awarded the full amount, which is pretty rare actually, so we're really grateful to them, to Maggie Hawk, Sarah Bussman, Ken and Jackson, Bob Pinson at the Arts Council, who are the great staff members, and then there's a board of people who looks at all the grant applications. We want to thank them too. So here's the deal with this equipment. During COVID, we're a theater company, so we're used to performing live and in person, but we couldn't do that obviously during COVID. So we made this pivot, the pivot everybody talks about, to do some digital stuff. We just had conversations online and some Zoom productions and things like that. And we had a good time at it. And a lot of the work we did was possible because of the support of the Arts Council. And we decided we were going to apply for this grant to continue doing what we do digitally to some degree, but also to make this equipment, including some that has yet to arrive from some other donors and sponsors and sources, make it available to the community at a super cheap rate, including free. So if you see this and you're like, I have always wanted to stream or become a TikTok master and make millions of dollars, we're here to help you do that. And so we can provide training on the boards and the equipment, and our rates are like super cheap, and including free. And it's a sliding scale, so if you make millions of dollars, we will charge you merely tens of thousands. But if you aren't making millions of dollars and want to do it for free, we have ways into that too. So if you're interested, just hit us up on all of the places, the chats and the whatevers, and we will be happy to share our toys, thanks to the Arts Council of Fayetteville, Cumberland County, and the North Carolina Arts Council. So thank you to them. And thank you to Melissa Passato, who just wrote us a big fat check last night to fill out some more of this equipment. And what I want you to see, I mentioned this earlier, but like we're in a room that's essentially, it's like an old Sunday school room at Holy Trinity Episcopal Church. They're hosting us generously, as they have done for the last year, because like our usual venues can't do it. So we did plays outdoors, and this was our green room for a while. And so they're hosting us for a while. Eventually, this studio setup is going to move downtown. But for now, here we are. And so we want to thank them as well. And so, I think I've got all the commercials out of the way.
You did it great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would have stuttered,
Thank you.
definitely.
I am nothing if not a theater person. So, we're here at the end of 2021. I want to hear from you all about your 2021 and a little bit about what you're looking forward to in 2022. And if this leads to us talking about events that you're engaged in, bodies that you're going to work on, projects that you're going to work on.
Don't show me that.
I hate to be morbid, but like, well, like we like.
Too much pre-planning is premeditation.
That's true. That's true. So, LJ, why don't you start us out? Tell us what you're working on. Tell us about your 2021 and your 2022.
Man, so artistically, this has probably been the best year that I can think of. I was able to start our poetry festival back up, which was awesome, back in September. Which next year is actually be our 10-year anniversary for that, which is crazy because it's Fayetteville. So people are like, I didn't know this event was going on for 10 years, but Fayetteville, I've grown to know is a transient city, so it's like people leave, people stay, people go. So, but that's happening. I got put onto 2 boards, which one is the Cool Spring Downtown District, and
We love them.
And as of recently, I became one of the board of directors for Lone Leaf Press, which is a publishing company that publishes poetry and prose here in the state of
I just met with them last week.
So yeah,
Before Christmas, yeah,
I'm one
that's
of the
great.
board members for there, and then just working on projects, performing. I'm gonna try to get out a little bit more when stuff started becoming more clear, with the panoramic happening. So once that kind of goes away, I'm gonna start trying to get back out there more. I know one of the big projects that I'm working on going into the new year, which I revealed we'll cover on Friday, is for a project that's gonna be a poetry chapbook. So I'm releasing 2 poetry books next year, but the first is gonna be a chapbook, and it's funny because it's the manuscript for a book that I submitted to Duke that got kicked back. So that's the funny thing about it. And it didn't get kicked back because it was a bad book. It just got kicked back because for what the grant was for that they were trying to publish, it didn't fit that. And I was like, since I made this manuscript, I want to just get rid of it because it's a book that can actually be read forward and backwards. So you read it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So, and I didn't plan it that way. It just happened to. I put it together. I sent it off. They kicked it back, and then it was just like, hey, but it was a great idea for you to do a book that can be read forward and backwards. And I was like, yeah. So then I look back at the manuscript, and I'm like, oh snap, look, it is that. So yeah. So yeah, so it's gonna be so yeah, there's a lot of things happening, but it's gonna be some great things happening. Try to keep stuff on the rack.
So as soon as you said chapbook, my Shakespeare ears went up because that's a whole thing in the Shakespeare era. Is like people doing that because it was the first time they could like publish. Like this was like early publishing days, and people were doing those all the time. Just like little ways. Like Shakespeare didn't do one, but a lot of other writers in the circle did, and it's like when you can't do plays because they were shut down by a plague, say, they would turn to these things that they'd written for years sometimes, and turn it over and submit the chapbook to the publishers as a way of making money. Shakespeare didn't do that. He wrote poems instead, which is your thing as well. He wrote the sonnets, and so when all the theaters were closed down and he had no money, he published these sonnets, some of which he'd probably written beforehand, and that was his way of making money. So he did a pivot too in the day.
Yeah, chapbooks are like a friend once told me, they're like, if you ever write a poem, your poem's not that good, you put it in a chapbook. So it was poems that I just wrote that I honestly wasn't doing anything with because I did a project for National Poetry Month. We write 30 poems in 30 days, but because I was doing 3 projects at once with 3 different groups, I ended up writing 90 poems within that year, that month of that year. So some poems I put together to submit, and then I was like, I still got this, so I'm just gonna make a book out of it.
Sweet.
At least in 2022. So.
And you are about to be a ringmaster, I'm led to believe.
Yes. So Fayetteville is getting ready to do the wonderful night circus, which is, I believe, the city's first big New Year's Eve event. I'm not originally from here, but that's how they've been hyping this event up. So that's actually a great thing to hear, and it's a great undertaking, and it makes me a little nervous just because it's kind of history for the city. So they're basing off this book known as Night Circus, which is set in the Victorian era. So not only will I be a ringmaster, I literally went out and got this whole Victorian steampunk garb that I'm gonna be dressed up in as a ringmaster, and it's gonna be a dope event. It's free to the public. I know they're gonna do a mini count, like a Segway kind of countdown for the kids at 9 o'clock, because of course they gotta leave, and then of course all the
That's when the real party starts.
yeah, basically
Once the children leave.
But they got some awesome artists gonna be performing there. It's gonna be 90s themed, so they got CNC Music Factory, Rob Bass, Awful One, Coolio's coming with a live band, so I hear. So it's gonna be dope. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I'll have a little bit of time to kind of mingle and get out and grab me something to eat and drink while hosting, because I know it's gonna be an all-day thing. But I'm looking forward to it.
I really hope Coolio is dressed like you.
You know, that would be awesome.
Steampunk Coolio.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Well, like I said, we're gonna see what happens. But yeah, I'm excited.
Awesome. Minda, tell us about your 21 and 22.
My 21 was rough, man, because I do stand-up comedy and I produce shows, and so we get a lot of not of that for public safety. But then we came back a little bit. We didn't really do a lot of the Zoom things that a lot of other comedy companies did. We just kind of saved up and got sharper and better. So this latter part of the year, we kind of hit it hard. November and December, we had the comedy trolley downtown. That was us. It was a three trolley one night event. It sold out. LJ was there.
Yeah, that event was awesome.
It was super fun. We had a
It
good
was
time.
awesome.
You know, like that's all. Like, I'm not on a lot of boards. I'm not a team player, I guess, but we do. We do like me and the folks that I work with. We do like to have a good time. We like bring a good time here, and there's kind of a slight comedy void in the area since there's not an actual club, because we go from venue to venue, kind of like you guys. You know, we go from venue to venue, and we like to show off our local talent and things like that. So 2022, it just keeps going. 2022 is going to be bigger. We've got some big shows lined up in January. We're bringing Hillary Bagley. If you've ever seen the movie Dumpling on Netflix, she's going to come and do some stuff with us this direction.
Sweet.
Super cool. I just interviewed her for the podcast Everyone's Talking. And we're going to do bigger and better stuff with that as well. So onward and upward. You know, like that's what we're about, like onward and upward.
Sweet. Traycie, what about you?
Follow that, Traycie.
I've done absolutely nothing this year. I'm just kidding. Mostly just shows after shows after shows. We did Much Ado, and we've had a couple of lits this year. We did Hamlet, and then we also did Micklet.
So tell us about Hamlet and Micklet,
What about
and be very careful about how you say the last one. But yeah, just I mean, people listening may not know what
yes.
lit is.
So we have a lit series, which is very different from our other shows, where we basically take the play, we strip it down to the bare bones of the story, and then we do a bunch of shenanigans. So we have improv, we partake in adult beverages with our audience, and it's just a crazy good time. And we have another one coming up in January, February. It's Romeo and Julie Lit, which was one of the first lits we ever did. And we're bringing it back, so that's going to be fun.
And where are those going to be?
Oh, so there's 2 at Patty's, 2 at Hugger Mugger Brewing in Sanford, and then I believe 4 at the Arts Council if they will come to the county.
Nice.
I like the Arts Council shows. I like that space.
Yeah.
And we get to serve our own booze.
Yeah.
So we spend some time.
Have a cocktail.
Yeah.
Did we ever decide the name of it?
I don't know.
There was some
I was
good
going to
ones.
call it
There was
Rosaline because it's a joke. Because anyway, never mind. Go ahead.
I want to know.
Yeah, I wanted
Well,
to know.
like Asana, who is our front of house manager and sort of develops all of these cocktails, like does lots of heavy research, and then we ask the audience for a name, and this one is it's like red and bubbly, and kind of like her description sort of talked a little bit about poison. Anyway, it was very ornate and florid, the description of this drink. And there were lots of different names pulling on Shakespeare quotations. And I just said Rosaline because that is that's Romeo's old girlfriend that he
Yeah.
dumps.
I mean, he's
Super
very
fast.
He got messed up on Rosaline.
Yes, yes, he did.
Mhm.
The only
So-
other one I remember is A Gentle Gin, which I thought was funny.
The Gentle Gin.
Yeah.
Which one was that for?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
For the Romeo and Juliet one, it was one of the suggestions. In
Oh,
the
nice.
comment section.
Gentle Gin.
Yeah, like a gentle sin
Nice.
or whatever. I don't know anything about Shakespeare.
Well, if you have suggestions, we'll take them. Yeah, I do like the custom cocktails. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So I'll share a little bit about what Sweet Tea has been doing. So we, took the COVID year off. We came back to some outdoor performances last spring, and we've been basically steadily producing outdoors since then. We're also doing this whole series of Zoom productions. Those wrapped up in July, so we haven't really been back in the digital space since then. But we're coming back. We don't know what it's going to be. We're just going to be something, gathering around a table to have conversations or something. We'll figure it out. And we've been in. We expanded to Raleigh, and so we're doing some shows up there. They're working on 2 plays now at the same time. Richard II and Henry IV Part 1, which, if you're like me, Shakespeare's history plays do not have a title appeal. Like Richard II, why do I want to see a play about that? And Henry IV Part 1, like, what is that? Yeah, I mean, it's just like the titles are dry. If they called him like Sex in the Castle, it would be very different. But
Very direct.
But anyway, if you can get past the titles, these are 2 really, really great plays. Richard II is this sort of like Christish figure. The language is really great, and it's about how he's overthrown by this other guy, Henry. And they grew up together, and there's a break, and Richard's kicked out, and it's cool, but it's cool. It's got a lot of cool language, and anyway, it's cool.
It sounds cool.
And Henry IV Part 1 is the story of the Henry who kicked Richard out, and he himself gets into a civil war. So he kicks Richard out because he thinks he's doing a bad job at governing, and then he figures out, this is really hard, and gets into a civil war. And it's got Falstaff in it, which some people know. He's the big fat knight who cracks jokes all the time. And for our purposes, the important thing is this character Hal, Prince Hal, who is this young Hamlet-like figure, but he gets into a lot of trouble. He's hanging out in bars with Falstaff, and he's under pressure to become king someday. He will become king someday. And it's the pressure between like the Falstaff drinking crowd and the crowd of his dad who wants him to play serious. And eventually that guy becomes Henry V, who's a fairly famous figure in English history and in Shakespeare. And so we're telling his story over 4 plays over a couple years. So this is the start of that. It's called the Henriade. And it's really cool. And one of the things I think that's cool is like we're doing these plays that aren't done that often, even though they're really great. And people can like take their Shakespeare passport and we will stamp it, and like, so like there, some people dig that and I dig it. And so, like you check those off your box because they're rarely done. And they're doing a good job up there. I was just up there last night, popping in on a rehearsal, and they're having a grand old time. And then further out, I know I cheated. That was like the next 6 weeks are that and Romeo and Juliet. But then we're beginning to plan our 22-23 season, and we're looking at musicals. We're looking at fun stuff. I have a meeting. I shouldn't say this out loud, but I have a meeting with the new owners of the Fayetteville Pie Company next week, and we're talking about a return there. Famously, we did Sweeney Todd. What was that, 3 years ago, I think. And we're talking about maybe revisiting there with something fun. And then we'll see what else.
Food related?
Something fun and food related, yes.
Okay.
Yes, there will be some sort of
There will be pie.
bakerly connection,
Well, that's
shall
what
we
I-
say.
yeah,
Yes.
the Sweeney Todd connection.
Yes, something like that. Yeah. So we're looking at that, and we have some other plans in the works for maybe a new space, and so if we're that may pan out in 22, it may be early 23, but we think that will probably change the game for us because we're like 90% of our job is like moving the things around to do the play.
Yeah.
And so if we get a semi-permanent or a home base kind of situation, that's going to change things. And so we're excited about that too.
Mm-hmm.
Hooray.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You get your
We're
little,
doing good things.
little situation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be, it's very exciting. We have a good partner that we're working with. And it's going to be a little bit of a coup, I think. If I can brag, I think it's going to be a little bit of a coup. So we're excited about that. Okay, what else?
This is very loosey-goosey. I love it. Are you going to his thing on New Year's Eve? Yeah, the night
If I have
circus?
time, my family
Yeah,
wants
'cause
to do something. But maybe because I think
think
we're
it's-
doing our actual plans on like the 1st because of that Harry Potter
What Harry Potter?
reunion.
Oh,
Oh,
on HBO.
yeah.
HBO Max.
So they're all excited, so we're gonna
Man,
watch
that's a
it
hard one.
together.
Rob Bass or Harry Potter? Like,
Yeah, you're right.
how are you gonna choose? Everybody's wearing the same style of clothes though.
That's
So.
a good thing. I know, well, you know, people got a lot of stuff going on for New Year's. So I mean, of course, you'll get your people to come out to your event, but everybody's got plans. I mean, you got your folks that might want to stay at home. You got your folks that may want to be in
No,
church.
I think it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have fun. Yeah, some people go to church for New Year's. Like,
Really?
yeah, go to
Is
church.
that
for-
I mean, I'm not from here.
Oh no, that's
But you're not
happening
from
everywhere.
here either.
I'm not from here. But I
Where
know a lot
are
of
you
people-
both from?
Yeah.
I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. Ended up going to school in a small little city called Lyon, Ohio before coming here.
So I grew up in Florida a million moons ago, and before I lived here, I lived in Alaska. So, but there was a lot of places prior to that. But I've never heard of church. I mean, if it fell on a Wednesday or Sunday.
Yeah, no, some people go to church for New Year's. They want to.
That's like the
They got to
ultimate-
cleanse the
Yeah,
palate,
like-
as
I
it
was
were,
gonna say-
right?
Yeah, because like sometimes
Get
it'll
right
be
with
like,
Jesus
yeah,
right before.
like you can go drink, but if you don't want to be with God, then we
Yeah.
have to stay there and put you in the guilt trip. Oh, now you did that. So, but
I didn't know that.
then of course you got your people gonna go to the club. So I mean,
No, they need to go see you and Rob Bates and All for One.
And then
Yeah.
Coolio wearing the same
Coolio.
outfit as you.
yeah,
Steampunk Coolio is
We're
a
gonna
try to
obsession.
make that happen.
I'm gonna Google that. And see
you're
if
gonna try to
I
make
can
that
find
happen.
Yeah.
Let's write him right now.
So
I'm
yeah,
sure you have his personal number.
Yeah.
I'm not. You know, I know a couple people. I don't know them.
I'll
I have
text
a
my
friend though
buddy.
that does have his number, but I don't have it.
So LJ is comedy, or excuse me, he's poetry and I'm comedy. And one time we were at Comic Con and we almost got into a fight with security. So
Oh
it's like
God, yes.
the
I was
arts
there.
of fate were all teaming
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, because it was one of those moments where security accused someone of doing something they didn't do, and they wouldn't let up on it.
Right.
And
And so we were like, no,
yeah, and I don't like stuff. I don't like stuff like
Yeah,
that.
no.
I despise that.
I appreciated your support in that situation.
Trust me.
All the arts coming together
Yeah.
for justice.
Yeah. People forget, like, you know, you're an artist. You are a person.
That's
aside
right.
from this,
That's what you said.
at any
I
given
don't even
moment.
care, yeah.
So, but yeah, it's like I said. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody has a lot of things coming up. I know.
Do you guys do New Year's resolutions? Are you those people?
I haven't since I was a child.
So not good at them.
I just make
So you're
plans before New Year's happens.
Oh.
I do goals instead of resolutions.
I guess it's the same.
Well, yeah. So the reason being, it is I guess, because of the verbiage. So, a long time ago, I had a friend that told me about resolutions and plans. So they was like, a resolution is a plan, and you should make goals instead of plans because all plans are go accordingly.
Oh, gosh, that's
So that's why I was like, yeah, I'm gonna call it a goal because I thought every resolution I said I was gonna do, and I never. fully went through it.
Right, like I would have
So-
a harder time blowing off a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like a resolution, like I'll do that next year.
Yeah, so it's like a vision.
Jeremy, are
board.
you a resolution guy?
I am throughout the year. I was not always. I don't really treat the I don't really write them down for the year. I do like priorities over goals
No.
because then it's like this is when I want to work on, like I want to put this ahead of this. I want to put family ahead of work or whatever. And so that's that I like. I do that.
Prioritizing.
Yeah. But like every month or so, I do like write down the things I'm like, here are the things I would like to check off my list this week.
That
This year.
writing stuff down is way powerful.
It is.
Like that is real. If you can that's like a manifestation.
Journal.
Are you journaling?
So like,
yeah, I can barely write a note on my phone, but I appreciate people that can do that. And you're a poet, so like you got to
Yeah.
you
I know. Yeah, I know the one thing we started doing years ago, which is I'm gonna try to figure out how to do it this year is we will write down stuff that we just want to get rid of, not take to the new year or go to a fire bin.
Wow, don't put any of your kids on the list.
Oh no, I won't. I can't. The kids
This
too
is
much.
his last year.
The kids too much.
I
That's
would love
especially
to
now.
too.
I ain't stressed out. I got my middle child is in college now, so.
Oh, wow.
But he got blessed with the grant he was doing for community colleges,
Oh,
which they
fantastic.
pay for the whole tuition. So
That's wonderful.
I'm just worried about the next 2 years, and then that's when I really come out of pocket. So I'm waiting on right now. So.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. I hope it's kind of super talented at something you never didn't know about right before. All of a sudden, you're great at golf, or something.
Yeah.
Get a scholarship for mommy.
So real quick question, because with the comedy trolley, which I'm thankful that I got a chance to make. So I didn't get a chance to make all
I'm
of
so happy
them,
to see you.
but I got a chance to make the last. We tried to get to we wanted to do the little one, which that was the one I think that was the. I think all of them was sold out, but I heard that was the most sold out.
He was off the chain. Yeah, so I had 3 different comics. That's probably why.
Mm-hmm. And so is there a chance that you guys are looking to bring that back?
I would love to bring that back for anybody who's listening regarding the trolley maintenance. Yeah, we can do it anytime.
Nice.
I got people that, and so in our community, like the comics that heard about it, we're down to, they're like, oh, I'll do the next one, So yeah, we would love to do that again. Just gotta be careful, it's hard left and right.
Oh yeah.
Hold your balance. Now that was a fun one. We were unsure of how it was gonna go off. So next time, we learned a lot on that night. And so the next one, if and when we get to do that again, we'll definitely make mid-course correction, deliver an even better product. So it was fun.
Well, I guess I ain't had nothing else to say. I could talk all day. So
I-
I'm trying to limit.
So you're going downtown to help Ashanti.
Yes. So I'll be leaving here shortly just to help them because they're doing I guess, a load in. So they're basically setting up everything. And if anybody's listening, if you would love to be a part of this wonderful thing that we're doing for New Year's, and want to volunteer your time just to help set up, by all means, meet us down there.
Send me that, and I'll put that on our 911 Comedy Facebook.
Cause I know they're actively looking for volunteers
Yeah.
to help them set up because it's a
I'm
lot.
not going to do it, but I'll see if
Oh
we
no,
can
by all
do
means,
it.
I get it, yeah. But it's definitely a lot, and I mean, volunteering has its perks. And I'm not just saying that for this event. I'm just meaning that for
You can
everything.
skip church on New Year's
So-
Eve if you volunteer for this.
Yeah, if you choose to. I'm not gonna say that, while he's listening, but yeah. So definitely, I'll definitely send you that link. But it's gonna, like I said, everything. I'm looking forward to 2022. I feel like it's a lot that's about to happen for a lot of people because people have been taking the time, even with everything that's been going on during the pandemic. A lot of people literally have been behind the scenes planting seeds for everything that's about to come to them within 2022.
Well, did you see they're calling it the Great Resignation? So people they're all quitting jobs that weren't really serving them spiritually, and now they're like chasing their art and chasing their passions. So I feel like 2022 is going to be a manifestation of all of that. Like they're actually going to be able to bring it forth. And like, this is what I've been working on. Hopefully, I hope so.
Some people took that time to really start learning stuff, get those YouTube videos.
Yeah, a lot of TikTok.
And learn about how to put together a LLC and nonprofit.
Right.
So you have a lot of those starting to come up all of a sudden. So yeah, I mean, I get it. Like the workforce is having this problem trying to find people, but there's some people that's actually out there just took it upon themselves, like you said, just go ahead and start going for your dreams.
So
'cause
living.
You're never too old to go for your dreams.
I chose evil. Like I was like, how can I be a better villain in 2022? So that's where I'm going to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the progression.
Yeah.
This is your origin story.
This is my origin story. Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. I like planting seeds because I've been actually using that phrase probably mentally for the last 6 months or so. I just got to a place in the summer where I was like, what am I doing with my life, and do I want to keep doing it? Particularly on the job side. And it's like I want to plant seeds, and that doesn't mean I'm doing any. I may in 6 months I may end up being in the same job, but I'm going to be doing it in a different way, and there will be different fruit being born because of the seeds. So
It's powerful to let it go.
Yeah.
Like to let go what you've had. Because I was working with a guy at the radio station, and he recently left there, and that's really a huge thing because it's not easy to get jobs in broadcasting. But he left, and as soon as he left, they moved because of COVID. They wanted to be closer to family, so they went back to the wife's hometown and a couple states away. As soon as he left, he got 2 better offers. It was just so shocking. So sometimes it's good to just let control go.
here's to letting go of 2021 at least.
Keep his raggedy ass back
planting
there.
some
Yeah.
seeds for 2022. That's right. That's right. Well, thank you all for being here. Let's do it again soon.
Yes.
We're those of you out there listening. Hello, my face was off camera, but we're gonna do some more of these. If you're interested in joining us, and if you're interested in doing your own thing, which has nothing to do with us at all, but you can use our equipment, just hit us up. We'd be happy to make it available to you, and that is because of the generosity, again, of the Arts Council of Fayetteville, Cumberland County, with funding from the North Carolina Arts Council. We love them. I think they love us, and we're excited to enter 2022 telling new stories, thanks to some of what they provided for us. So thank you again to them. And for now, I think we're done. Everybody's going to go do stuff. I'm going to go smoke cigars.
I have a question real quick. So,
Yeah.
for anybody that's listening,
We thought we were done.
so where can we find you on social media and all that good stuff?
Well, you can, he knows what's up. You can find us 910 Comedy, Facebook, Instagram, all your socials. I also have some podcasts. My favorite one currently is Dead Girls Talking. So it's me and my buddy talking about all the weird stuff because I'm doing mortuary and she's a forensic person. And just, we want to hear from you. We want to hear what you thought about this too. You know, please send your comments and questions to Jeremy, and if he has anything for us, he'll relay it to us. We're Facebook homies. And where can they find you, LJ?
You can find me all over the interwebs at LJ Poetry. That's ELJA Poetry. That's Twitter and Instagram. As far as Facebook, you can find me at LJ Bowens. That's ELJA Bowens. And website poetryinmotionnc.com. Poetry, the letter N, motionnc.com. You'll see a lot of stuff on there. You'll get ready to see this book release soon, and
Which you can read backward and forward.
you
Yeah.
can read
That's
backward and forward.
phenomenal.
Yeah, it's coming out. It's honestly coming out during Black History Month. It's a
Even
particular
better.
reason why. So that's all I got. And I'm real quick. Thank you guys at Sweet Tea Shakespeare
Yeah, thanks for
inviting
letting
us
us
here to,
test out your stuff.
test out your stuff and just literally just have a conversation. We don't have a chance to really, I guess.
What is, if people do want to use your equipment, what is it called? Is this the Sweet Tea Studio?
Yeah,
The
studio,
Tea
yeah.
Studio?
Yeah, and there will eventually be something on our website, like a little registration form. For now, you can just reach out to us on our contact page, and use it anytime. I mean, like literally anytime. I will key you in, and you can put it to work.
Do you edit for them as well?
We do not
Oh, okay.
do that.
I got a guy if you need that.
Oh, we can use a guy. And over the next couple days and couple weeks, we'll be like we're bringing in a computer and we're gonna decorate and we're gonna all kinds of stuff. So it can be pretty rad. And you can find us at sweetteashakespeare.com.